Broadcasting live from the mixed-up world of Hyrule, this is SpeedGaming Live 2020. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Bobtastic, and joining me today on commentary is Edgeworth. Edgeworth, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing just perfectly fine. Right now, we've got Link to the Past Randomizer. This is, of course, using the open boot settings, like we've been talking about. It's a great set of settings because it makes for some fast games, I think. Because, boots, they make you go fast. That's what they do. Today we've got HayfieldBay versus Acktheboker. This is round of 16. The brackets here starting with 32 players yesterday and whittling it down over the course of today and tomorrow to get to that one winner for the cash prizes associated with this tournament. And
yeah, we got a very important race coming up. One more, and I think as you win, you get closer more and more to the money, and there are no more freebies. Not that there were any to begin with, but these matches are just getting more and more competitive. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out.
Yeah, one of the recent developments in the Link to the Past randomizer community is a giant ladder system that was put up by Big Dunka, where you have a bunch of 1v1 races against other people without knowing who that person is, and there's it keeps track of a rating system in these races 1v1. And both of these runners have been highly rated on that thing in the past. Ack himself has been the champion of at least one mode, I think. It's pretty good. All right, we are underway from Link's house, starting there with boomerangs. Okay,
right, so we've got a bloomerang, and Ack's going to check out the stunt prize and be disappointed.
Okay, so an interesting little route to start with. Starting with the boots, this does make a little bit of sense coming over to Sahasrah's closet because you can just get it. We do see that our crystals, we have crystals in the light world all the way around. That's 3, 4, and 6 up at Hera.
It's always nice to see that because that means maybe you don't have to do one of those awful Dark World dungeons.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we've got a fire rod in the right side chest of Saha's closet. And we head to Sanctuary, where we find a map. No real surprises there. There's going to be some kind of map within the Hyrule Castle proper, and Sanctuary counts. And we go to the Bonk Rocks. No surprises today.
Just $20, but you'll take it before going to the village.
Yeah, ideally you'd like to get around 100 before you get to the village. What with the whole bottle vendor you gotta buy things from, and maybe you need to purchase bombs or something. Though there were 3 bombs acquired in the closet as well.
Well, that's kind of interesting. The poll gave 2 different sets of items, so Ack got a full magic and HayfieldBay got $20. So I don't know who came out ahead on this one.
Huh. So I imagine it has something to do with how many enemies got killed. And Ack's going to go for these bombs that are lying around. That's going to make it pretty much assured that you'll be able to get everything within the Kakariko village area.
Yeah, you're not going to turn down bombs even if they are in the mushroom spot. And hey, how about some more bombs?
Well, we did say we needed them. Okay, looks like Acktheboker is setting up a water walk here by dashing across that hole. I'm not sure what we're doing with it, but yeah, looks like we are heading into this portal here and avoiding Kakariko Village for the time being. That sure is a play. Heading directly over to Ice Rod Cave.
Well, that place is always a pain to get to, so if you can knock it out anyway faster, I really don't blame him.
Alright, HayfieldBay finds a bottle and a hammer inside Blind's hut, as well as 50 rupees, which will give us money for that bottle vendor. Piece of heart inside the Ice Rod Cave, and a mirror in the back of Blind's hut.
Oh, the thieves stole some good stuff today. You better get to the village sooner rather than later.
Alright, Ack now seems to be going for the Hyrule Castle play here. With this set of bombs, he actually could clear out the entire front end, should he desire to do so. Though it would be slightly easier if he had that hammer. Just throwing that out there. Oh, hello! We've got an ice rod, so fire and ice rods. Oh, and he's also got magic. What am I talking about? It's real easy with that. Magic and fire rod, you can just massacre everything in here. What am I talking about?
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to ration it a little bit with the boomerang. So pretty heads up play.
You definitely just only want to kill the things you have to kill, and that's generally a policy that carries throughout the game. Really, the less you're swinging your sword, the more you're moving. Because swinging your sword leaves you completely immobile for 15 entire frames. I know, it's a quarter of a second. It's the worst.
It adds up over time though, and we've seen some of those margins in this tournament where that matters.
We got HayfieldBay coming in with a half magic in the back of the tavern there, so very nice to have on hand. Acktheboker using quick swap strats to his advantage here. So he used a fire rod to kill the green guard and a ice rod to kill the blue guard. The reason is because the blue guards will die to the ice rod immediately, whereas the green guards will freeze. I don't even know. Now, here it looks like Ack is setting up the death warp.
Yeah, when you get that fire rod early, Dark Cross is always in your mind.
Yep, with the advanced logic that was introduced, I'm pretty sure it was after the last SpeedGaming Live. That is something that can be required, is going through dark rooms that have torches in them, as long as you have the fire rod. And every room on the way back to the back of this escape here has a torch in it. I definitely agree with the play of lighting the torch here that Acktheboker did, just because there's no reason not to see those snakes. They're jerks and you don't like them. Oh, dang, we've got a glove.
Yeah, that is absolutely critical, and he doesn't have to go through any more of the back. You just go the easy way now to check out the last three chests.
Yeah. Now, fortunately, he actually just couldn't go that way without the small key, which we know will be in one of these three chests. But the remaining two are, remain to be seen. HayfieldBay is actually going for the Desert and Agina's Cave play here, which is a very interesting play. And I did, in fact, miss what was on that, what was on the right side chest in the back of Escape. I saw the middle big 20, but nothing else.
I think it was a small shield.
Okay. That makes sense, considering he has a shield now. We also did see that the Quake medallion was really the only relevant thing inside the mini Moldorm cave here for that HayfieldBay got, and Acktheboker will be doing some similar things here. Yeah, with Acktheboker heading for Ice Rod Cave at the start here, we kind of expect him to also finish up with the Aegina's Cave play while he's down here. Just because why not? And
Yeah,
that's why you... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that's the benefit of knocking out Ice Rod Cave with that water walk we saw earlier.
Yeah, that's an efficient routing strat that I've never really considered and only really works in the open boots category. So yeah, it looks like Ack is trying real hard to clear out sort of the Sphere 1 area before heading to Kakariko in case you get something like the flute or a bottle. We know for a fact that there is a bottle in Kakariko itself, and the flute still has yet to be found.
Yeah, nothing makes your heart sink more than finding, you know, an early tier, or an important item in an early tier. And I don't really blame either runner for making sure that doesn't happen.
Oh yeah, that was the Moon Pearl in Aegina's Cave, so yeah, it turns out it was pretty important. Now, Ack is looking to do Kakariko from the south here.
Yeah, Hayfield taking a little bit more time to set up that Death Warp, getting beat up by that Green Knight.
Yeah.
He's probably having the time of his life. Finally, revenge.
It is worth noting that, you know, you could have used the mirror to get out of there. But sometimes you just don't remember that you got an item. Ask me how I know. Alright, so Acktheboker now picks up that half magic. There'll be some more bombs here in this chest, if I recall. I believe the well was mostly garbage, but Blind's Hut had some real goods in it.
Yeah, but the only difference is Ack's going to be in position to check out Magic Bat as well. And we have no idea if that has something good in it.
That is entirely true, yeah. So the delayed Kakariko strat is potentially paying off today. We will see.
Just all those little efficiencies over the course of an hour really add up.
I just really like the way that he was able to efficiently route in both Agina's and Ice Rod Cave using that dash, the water walk dash. Okay, so here are our pendants. We have Turtle Rock, Ice Palace, and Swamp Palace as our pendant. Swamp Palace being the green pendant. And then the remaining 5/6 crystal is up in Skull Woods. We've got a bow and a sword and a blue mail and a flip. Good God!
That's the hypest cave I've seen in a while.
Yeah, somebody told Hype Cave to wake up and actually do its job.
This is one of those situations where having a lot of experience with the rando pays off, because all of a sudden you have a million options before you, just in the blink of an eye. Now what are you going to do?
Well, with hammer and fire rod and bow and mirror, I kind of like the Pod Eastern play over here. Does seem pretty good. Acktheboker, meanwhile, going to head over to Skull Woods. Now, it looks like Acktheboker may be intending to clear this out in one go with a single, with 4 hearts and green mail and a fire rod, but with half magic. It might be somewhat reasonable if you can make use of the fire rod.
And unfortunately, he can't get in the back because he has nothing to cut the
All
ivy
right,
with.
no sword. Keep forgetting about that rather important detail. But we do see that Acktheboker did pick up one item there in the big key chest. And there are only 2 items here in Skull Woods that are not dungeon items. Meanwhile, HayfieldBay manages to find the flute in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, cue up the national anthem.
Exactly. Now, the good news here is we actually now know that both of the keys down the end of this hallway will in fact, or both the chests down this hallway, will in fact be small keys, as well as the big key chest. Those will all be small keys here. Because among the chests that have already been opened and the chests that I just mentioned, there must be at least 4 small keys.
Unfortunately, I was watching and did not see what was up on Bumper Cave Ledge.
Okay, so my brain registered it, I think, but I didn't acknowledge it. So something makes me think it wasn't important, but I could be making that up. So
Alright, so we're gonna have ourselves a low percent Helmosaur fight, which usually isn't too bad.
and just, a very, very common occurrence here, and not at all surprising. You'll note we did find both the fire and ice rods very early in this seed, and what is Turtle Rock? It's a pendant. Because of course it is. That's how this game works. Ooh, Acktheboker finds the second glove in the Village of Outcasts Sea House. Meanwhile, HayfieldBay makes the interesting play of heading to Helmosaur immediately, not checking the back of pod yet, though I imagine he'll probably head right back in. It's just a little more efficient to do this way.
Yeah, if you've got that big key and small key pair when you're up on the ledge from the right side.
Whoa!
Hey, are you sure we're not playing Ambrosia here?
Maybe. No, I'm pretty sure we're not.
Got the goods on the boss, so that is gonna open up a lot for Hayfield as well.
Yeah, hook shot for HayfieldBay. Interestingly enough, Acktheboker is going to go buy a red potion here in town. This is either for safety purposes in Thieves Town, or potentially for potion glitch purposes once he gets over to Pod. Now, by the time he gets over to Pod, he's gonna have a bow, but he doesn't know that yet. Unless for some reason he skips Hype Cave.
And somehow I don't see that happening.
Yeah, seems legit. Alright, HayfieldBay picking up the other two small keys here in the back of Pod, so we know there's something that is not a small key or the big key, because we've already got that in this Harmless Hellway room. And it's the compass. So there will be 3 items in the Dark Maze. And this is the one area which is, well, this and the boss, which are not in logic here. But that's not going to keep HayfieldBay from coming in here, because you want to pick these up while you can. Alright, full heart. Certainly nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he is making short work of this dark room. It's impressive.
Yep, at a certain point you've got these all memorized if you've been doing this for a while. Though I know some people who will still pull up the maps of the dark rooms despite the fact that they know them. Well then, we now know where all 3 shields are. And both runners picking up the fire shield before heading to fight Blind, which Blind is basically the only boss where I actively want a shield. That and Landmo 2. Alright, more hearts for HayfieldBay.
I always appreciate the when I do a fake flipper having a shield for the boss on the bridge as well. I somehow always aggro that bow guy.
Alright, Ack going to rescue the maiden, in air quotes. That's just what we call the cell, air quotes. Alright, big key found for HayfieldBay, so we'll be able to check the big chest here. And it's a blind fight time for Acktheboker. This is a hammer blind fight, which is pretty much always going to be slightly different than the normal script. Oh, and HayfieldBay is skipping the vanilla big key chest here, despite there being one item outstanding. So if it turns out that the boss has the, I believe, compass is what's left, then we could be in a interesting situation.
It's a bit of a gamble, but anytime you have an opportunity to pick up some time, it's always worth it.
Yeah, I mean, if you multiply, so if you take like the expected time save, it's probably neutral. But that's only because the time loss is so huge if you get it wrong. But the probability of it is so small. So you take that gamble, banking on the probability working in your favor. And it does, with the Ether Medallion coming out from Armos. Meanwhile, didn't mention it as it was finishing, but Acktheboker manages to finish off blind without any issues whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a real fast digging game too. So time to go back and grab the smith here.
Yeah, we're doing some smithery.
He can do now that he's got those Titan Smiths.
Yep. And we can throw in Magic Bat and, you know, bunch of stuff. Looks like Hayfield is going to activate the flute. And I had lyrics prepared, but I choked. So I might hit it up when Ack gets there.
Yeah, I was wondering, but yeah. Well, we got one more shot at this.
Yeah. When Ack activates the flute, we'll just provide the sound. All right, we got Magic Bat with the lamp. Interesting. So that puts all of that junk in logic that we were talking about earlier. Although, when I say junk, I mean it literally. As in, nothing that was strictly behind the lamp seems to have been anything but junk, except the hookshot. The hookshot was strictly behind the lamp. Sorry. At least in the logic.
And Axe still hasn't done Hype Cave, so he's got to do this the slow way.
Yep. I found this out one time when I was trying out like swordless mode or something, and I thought, you know, I went into the Discord of the main randomizer, being like, hey, there's this glitch where the item dash doesn't work because of the swordless mode, and he's like, no, it just doesn't work without the sword. I was like, oh. That is how the game do. Now, HayfieldBay might make that play to the end of Skull Woods like we were talking about earlier, on account of, you know, having a sword. Now, we see that Acktheboker picked up the shovel inside that Hammer Pegs game, which is pretty convenient considering he's headed south for the full Smith chain checks, and can go ahead and throw in the shovel check.
That works out pretty well. And like
you said, Stumpsman was just a rupee there. And more rupees for the digging time. And Ack is probably just going to leave the chest sitting there, yeah. Because of relatively recent developments. Discovered that, yeah, you can just mirror next to the guy as long as the chest is technically following you. And it'll work. or like as long as the game is still keeping track of the chest's position.
Yeah, that's super convenient. Before the biggest drag was never being able to use your boots to do this change, but now no problem.
All right, Acktheboker heading into the hypest cave I've seen in a while. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's about an 11.
It's certainly up there.
Alright, so it looked like Ack was about to save and quit, and then I think he might have been like, wait a minute, I have a bow. Let's go do a thing.
Yeah, you've got at least 110 rupees and all the trimmings for pod. So that is certainly something you can do.
Ooh, we're gonna get a check of the floating of the Lake Hylia Island here, which maybe HayfieldBay checked. I don't remember. Speaking of HayfieldBay, managed to finish off Moth without any real issues, and impress every single one of us sitting here.
Yeah, Moth didn't want to play nice. Hid the hid the back.
Yeah.
When, during hammer strats, but
did a lot of not wanting to get hit. That's for sure. Acktheboker picks up a trove of cash there on the hobo, which actually makes it a little more likely that I was thinking we might see a Zora check, but not right now.
That wasn't a hobo at all. It was just an eccentric millionaire.
Yeah, that's probably correct. It's like, look, this is my hiding place. Just leave me alone. I'll give you $300.
Don't tell the feds I'm evading taxes.
I'm spending a year dead for tax purposes. Yeah. So yes, we can see that bumper cave had just a heart container, as we stated before, not particularly relevant. Alright, so Ack's going to get the flute out of pod here, as well as the hook shot. So I wonder if there's a chance that Ack heads toward the mire and desert area after this. Normally I'd be thinking, Death Mountain is pretty sweet, but sometimes you go for the slightly off play that still could potentially lead to good stuff. Like, you could definitely clear desert, and who knows, you might find Vanilla Cane. How many times have you seen Vanilla Cane? It's not a small number.
No, it certainly happens enough, but no, you make a good point. You're also thinking about, like, what items have given me things already, and you really haven't seen the flute open up too much, so mire shed area could be good.
Alright, so HayfieldBay finding those gloves. Also, we'll find the mirror shield coming up. So, a giant shield to get in the way of Link's face. Or in this case, Mega Man's face.
Yeah, and of course, when it's mandatory, you're you're gonna have pendant Turtle Rock.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the mandatory face covering.
Oh, I mean that's true. It's a nice hammer yump there from Act.
Mm-hmm. Hammer jump is always nice to do when you have the big key and at least one small key, just to save some time. I tend to like to do hammer jump just because I'm more used to doing the dark maze from that side than the other. If I don't have the lamp, but of course in this case, Act did find the lamp on the magic bat.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're used to doing key sanity, hammer yump's kind of one of those tricks that you gotta learn to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, hammer jump is almost mandatory for key sanity because there are 6 pod keys out in the world, and you might have to get all of them if you don't know hammer jump. All right. HayfieldBay heading through Thieves Town, which, again, we have seen basically all of from Acktheboker. And Act gonna head to the end of Pod, which again will lead us to the hook shot. And then we'll get to see what sort of glorious thing we head for next. I mean, I imagine Acktheboker will probably clear out Eastern as well. But then after that, you know, who knows? Slightly underestimating the distance to throw that boomerang. There.
It's why couldn't you be a red boomerang?
Yeah. Well, it's all to do with the quick swap strats there. Because normally what I would do on normal, like without quick swap, is I'd go to the bow and then I wouldn't have to worry about the distance. But the boomerang is faster to get to than the bow on the menu when you're doing quick swap. And let me tell you, Acktheboker loves him some quick swap.
Helma backed himself into a corner there and was able to make some quick work of the mask.
Now Ack is getting some hammer shots in. Took him a few tries to get in there because the hammer hitbox is, as they say, complete and utter garbo. But the hook shot is now acquired by Acktheboker, and that will get us another crystal on the board.
And just like that, blind is down on Hayfield's side.
Yeah, so HayfieldBay actually is in the lead crystal-wise here. Actually 4-2 at the moment, though we will see Ack finishing out Eastern here to make it 4-3 fairly shortly, while Hayfield is going to have some overworlding to do here.
So it is interesting. 2 pretty different paths at the start, but we're converging pretty quickly on, having about the same items and same progress.
The only real difference here being that Acktheboker was not able to finish off Skull Woods while he was there, and HayfieldBay did. So that would be That'd be basically the one main difference here. It looks like HayfieldBay is going to forego the Smith chain at the moment, which can make sense. I have not even ever considered using Ice Rod strats in that room with the Stalfos. And that is something that Quickswap makes a relatively functional check there.
And Ack is going to check the vanilla big key chest, so a little bit more time added to Hayfield there.
And Hayfield is going to go for that Desert and Mire play I was talking about before heading up to Death Mountain. Which, you know,
right,
at this point, I actually kind of like it. Today? Oh, I didn't quite see. Ether. Okay, so good thing that he finished off Eastern when he did. That is the silver arrows for HayfieldBay. And I imagine Acktheboker will probably pick those up as well.
Well, it's certainly going to make Desert a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. I do love me some Silver's Landmo strats. Here we see the small key on the torch, which was never any doubt that we were going to be able to get whatever was on that torch. Thanks to starting with the boots. And there's the big key as well, so the keys for Desert are out of the way. Still got 2 more items in here to find. And the map is not one of those items that we were looking for.
Alright, so Ack finishing off Armos. We have another boss fight on the way for Hayfield.
Alright, Acktheboker will be saving and quitting. Likely activating that flute.
Yep, couldn't take the refill and mirror out, so another heads-up play. Little efficiencies here and there.
Mm-hmm. Alright. As Hayfield starts to battle Landmolus, I have a song. When you must move along, call the duck with his song. He'll come and take you on a lovely flight. And if you want to see lots of runners with speed, well then just keep watching SpeedGaming Live.
That was pretty good.
Ah. It's been a hot minute since I've gotten to do one of those. Alright.
Ack following right behind though, so you know, you mentioned the Meyer play, and both the runners agreed.
Yeah, the reason I like the Meyer play here is essentially because if you can, you would really like to just save your Death Mountain play for the end. Finish off Hera at the right before you do Ganon's Tower. Unfortunately, that does appear that it's not really going to work today.
But not unless we have Vanilla Red Cane.
Yeah, you could make the dip into Mire if you wanted. And it's not that bad to do so, because you usually have to basically full clear Mire anyway. But that's a little beside the point.
Yeah, if we were about 10 or 15 logic versions behind, then maybe I'd see the argument.
So I would say it's a good play to make if you feel behind. Right?
Yep, that makes sense. But everything's gone pretty smoothly for both runners so far, so...
Yeah. Right. And as we expected, or as you might have expected, Acktheboker is going to go ahead and piece out of the front of Desert to head to the boss. HayfieldBay making quick work of the west side of Death Mountain. Looks like he's going to go for Hera first. With the hook shot and that Hera pot available, it will be a pretty quick clear.
Small key? No thanks.
Alright, well, if there's an important item in the big chest, we're going to be abandoning it.
Alright, Ack gets the one cycle, so very, very clean land mow.
Alright, there's a piece of heart. That's the first item in Hera. So the remaining item is either on the boss or in the big chest. Hammer Strats Landmo, always pretty good. I said Landmo, it's Moldorm.
We just saw land mow. You're primed.
Yeah. Brain did a thing where it crossed the streams. We did in fact only get the compass there, so that does leave an item in the big chest. Could be important later on, but we don't know for sure. And HayfieldBay is going to take the risk that the item is not there.
Yeah, if you're gonna do Hera pot, you're pretty much committing to this.
Yeah. All right, going into Spiral Cave. I mean, we'll give you a guess as to why it's called Spiral Cave. It's because while you're in this cave, you think about the downward spiral your life is taking. I mean, what?
That's only if you don't have boots and you have to.
That is correct. Does look like Ack is also going to head to Hera first. So we may have two runners that do the exact same thing here in Hera. HayfieldBay setting up for the double East Death Mountain play. Interestingly enough, Acktheboker is picking up the small key. Now, whether or not he decides to head for the big key is up in the air. I mean, he's going for the Hera pot here, so I wouldn't bet on it.
Alright, meanwhile in Paradox Cave, we find a book.
And a sword. That sword is, necessary because we still have, to actually kill Ganon at some point here.
It's also interesting because now you can crack open some tablets.
Yeah. You can just head right back over to the Hera area and check the ether tablet, should he so desire. Alright, pair of big 20s in Super Bunny Cave, nothing particularly great to write home about, but we are going to come up on Hookshot Cave. That's 4 more items available.
I wonder if we'll see a medallion check on Turtle Rock.
Maybe. I mean, we did get the fire and ice rods real early this game, but I mean, what do we actually need for go mode? Isn't it just the cane?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's really no point. So HayfieldBay can come over here and check the ether tablet. If he so desires, he can go inside and check the Hera big chest, but he might just go to Spike Cave or elsewhere after this. Yeah, he's just gonna peace out. Guess he might be doing that smith chain. Ooh, there's a chance that this might culminate in a trip to Swamp Palace. Which is
it is
gross.
very possible. Yeah, well, it's possible, and there's a green pendant there as well.
Yep, so a grand total of 7 total items that could be hiding in Swamp Palace. And, you know, the cane can be there fairly often.
Yeah, unfortunately, pedestal dead for the same reasons you talked about earlier.
Yeah, so fans of the Master Sword pedestal will have to satiate their thirst elsewhere. Don't know where that particular phrasing came from, but sure. Now, Ack will be heading into Paradox Cave.
Oh.
Trying to get that hover across. I know for a fact that Acktheboker does have it in him.
You're just saving it for more important things, like the Moldorm Tooth.
Sometimes you have a... Sometimes it just doesn't cooperate. Because while it is less, like, difficult than you think it is, it's still difficult. Yeah, I knew that first chest on the left when HayfieldBay opened it was red and was stick-shaped, but it was the boomerang. It was the red boomerang, not the red cane. I was a little concerned that I might have missed it, but somebody would have freaked out otherwise, I think.
Just shout-outs to our tracker, who's doing a great job so far.
Yeah. I actually don't know if it's meant to be pronounced Rive or Reeve, but shout-outs to our tracker for keeping track of the things. Rive it is, turns out.
Yeah, I didn't know either, that's why I just said tracker.
find it's always best to acknowledge your shortcomings in knowledge, because, you know, eventually somebody will tell you the correct way.
All right, so we're gonna have a Bombos tablet check, which is new information.
Yep, could definitely be the cane here. But let's be fair, there's a lot of things that could be the cane. Like the mushroom check.
Oh boy. Hayfield clearly not happy with that mirror bounce.
Yeah. That's a reason that when I do that mirror, I always do it in the middle of those 3 flowers. Okay, so I think what we might see here, yeah, a flute away to check that mushroom and then come back to 7.
Yeah, makes sense. Pretty efficient.
Like, I would also be tempted to go do the Zora stuff while I'm up here. Just because I hate Swamp Palace. Oh, is he going ice? No, he's going to do the Zora things.
Yeah, I don't think we've had anybody go check the fairy fountain either.
Yeah, so all of these things up here, you know, HayfieldBay is sort of orphaning the catfish check like this, because it would be particularly annoying to get to. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. All right. Meanwhile, oh, that's the wrong cane.
Whoops.
The wrong cane on the ledge. And King Zora taking your hard-earned cash for a bee in a bottle, which HayfieldBay doesn't even want. He's like, nope, I don't need your bottle.
Just saving time, but it's not even going for the cane. Just getting out of dodge. And Ack is gonna go visit the Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, I think Ack is doing a much more thorough check of this situation here, because he's gonna get Pyramid Fairy. He could probably go do Catfish and then route it into that Zora check as well. All right, so he's setting up for the bomb duplication here. You want to... Oh, he didn't get it. He got bonked by one of the enemies there, and that delayed him just long enough to where he was unable to reach the transition at the 0 mark. So that is unfortunate for Acktheboker. Meanwhile, HayfieldBay is making the dip into Green Pendant Swamp Palace.
And Ack is going to try that again.
I feel like if you're making the dip into Swamp Palace, you're committing to really full clearing it.
Yeah,
Which
and
may
especially
involve a trip to left side.
Yeah, the dreaded left side, and also the dreaded boss as well. At least we're not going to menu boss this time.
Yeah, true facts. All right, Ack is this time just, you know, taking the slow and steady route with the bomb. Ugh. I don't know what happened there, but he almost lost it again. And straight Garbo all around there for Ack. Looks like we might be heading to Catfish here. I can't think of any other reason to walk this direction.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. Check out Zora and all the other Light World checks up there.
Alright, so HayfieldBay is going to the back first. This does make some sense in terms of like checks per second. Alright, we're going to be setting up for the bomb version of the diver down glitch. And there it goes.
Yeah, very well executed. And unfortunately, not a whole lot to speak of.
More red things for Acktheboker, this time a red male. But again, not a red cane. There it is.
Wow.
Swamp Palace waterfall chest, ladies and gentlemen. And HayfieldBay has just cemented the lead here.
Yeah, sub-hour go mode. It's been a pretty nice seed so far for Hayfield.
Mm-hmm. And what's even better about that is the sub-hour go mode, and there's only one more dungeon left to clear. Already has 6 crystals, which is pretty ridiculous. Oh no. Axe going for the vanilla cane play. Which, as I said, might be a thing to do if you feel behind. But in this case, it's not going to pay off.
Yeah, this could be even worse if this turns out to be a God Mire as well.
Mm-hmm. Do it! Do it! Okay.
Oh, there's your big key. All right.
I was saying do it, thinking maybe he'd try to hover that gap,
Oh.
which is a thing you can do when you find the big key there. We might see Ack try it here. Well, we wouldn't, because he doesn't have the cane. But it'd be funny. Alright, so Hayfield set up a spooky glitch earlier. It
Very nice.
In all things, it, strange enough, involves the duck is actually helping you set up the spooky glitch. The reason you lift the rock from the bottom has nothing to do with lifting the rock. It has to do with letting the duck stay on screen a little longer and getting a higher Z position. It's the weirdest thing.
That's not too bad either. About a 3-minute mire. So.
Mm-hmm. That is a pretty gross mire. Ooh, Axe doing the door state extension clip of that rail there in mire, which is always fun to see, though usually only saves a very small amount of time. It is swag as heck, though.
Oh no, dead rocks.
Oof. Looks like Ack's probably going to be going for the cutscene room now, which is unfortunate for him.
Yeah, we're just going bad to worse here.
Because if Ack wasn't feeling behind before, you know he's going to feel behind after picking this up. It's just like, oh no, Kane's not in here, therefore my opponent got it before coming in here, therefore they got to go mode this place.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what's your play after this? You might have to just... Gosh, maybe even Ice Pals. You just want to do something that you don't think your opponent did, because that might be your only out.
Yeah. It does look like he's going for Swamp, though. And to be fair, I'd probably be doing what Ack was doing here before myself, because I am as averse to Swamp as he appears to be. By the way, get your guesses in for the big key, as we have a tempered sword in the first chest and the big key in the second. Well, this is going to be a sickeningly fast seed. Good lord.
Hayfield obviously pleased. Just there's your key. All right, cool, we're done.
And you grab a second one under this pot, that way you don't have to kill the Helmosaur on the way up, and then we're done here. Ganon Sour's just like, you know what? You deserve a break.
Wow, this is gonna be lightning quick.
I don't know what the fastest time in this tournament has been, but this has got to be close. I know that there have been faster times, like, in randomizer history.
Yeah, gosh, this has just been stunningly fast. I always like falling off the bridge there to get iframes. Files taught me that trick.
That is a perfectly legitimate strategy for pulling that off. If you are, like, exceptionally good and can watch the RNG and stuff, you can figure out how to get the, like, just straight dash down it. But I am not either of those things.
That was a very nice start to the gauntlet there.
Oh, yeah. And a perfect 3 Silver Arrow Landmo fight. This time it was Landmo. And of course, my favorite rooms in the game. These Wizrobe rooms. They're just so incredibly satisfying to pull off.
Just absolutely crushing it and picking up that magic refill with half magic too. It's gonna save some time.
Using the lamp despite not really needing to. I mean, that sometimes you're just used to the strat. And he is going to go ahead and take a pause there just in case. Because getting your Ganon's Tower, despawned is a good way to lose you a race.
Just taking the extra couple seconds to play it safe.
And, of course, switching to the powder right there, which costs you no time thanks to Quick Swap. And then we can switch right over to the hook shot before heading to Moldorm. A slash and a spin, and down goes Moldorm. It's time for Aga 2. The Wizard of Geometry.
Axe setting up a nice diver down as well.
Yep, and Acktheboker also is about to enter Go mode himself. At 109.22 approximately. Alright, a double hit on phase 1 on the first cycle for HayfieldBay. Only a single hit thanks to blue projectiles of unfortunateness, but then a triple to pull it off.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty.
And a hitting for the cycle there with a 2 and a 1 and a 3.
No home run, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only other outcome you can get is a 0, and you really don't want to separate that. You don't want to celebrate that one.
No. So yeah, all the goods for a quick Ganon fight as well. So let's see how this goes.
Alright, so HayfieldBay did not get the 1 cycle first phase, but did get the consolation prize of a second cycle where Ganon is in the top right corner, and therefore you can stand inside the fire bats and just spam spin.
Yeah, already into phase 3.
And down goes Ganon for HayfieldBay. Just another trip across the bridge, and that will do it. And time, the official racetime.gg time for HayfieldBay, 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 49 seconds. Congratulations to HayfieldBay.
Absolutely flying through this seed, and it was a good race from both, but just a little bit better for Hayfield.
All right, so we can follow Acktheboker for the rest of his run here as he heads toward East Death Mountain. With all 7 crystals in hand. Oh, and it looks like Acktheboker has noticed the finish of his opponent and is going to go ahead and call it here. So, congratulations to both runners on making it this far, and what a race, what a seed, what a quick seed. My goodness.
Yeah, it seemed like it gave you pretty much everything you needed along the critical path. Just a matter of where was that cane, and the Swamp Palace was the answer.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we just need to see about bringing some people in for an interview if they so desire. We're going to need to get them an invite, but that'll be coming shortly, I'm sure.
So in the meantime, what do we know as far as the schedule goes? Are the finals booked yet, or at least the time slot?
Well, I don't know exactly when the finals are going to be, but I imagine it will be sometime late on Sunday, that being tomorrow, as we've still got the remainder of this bracket to finish out. We've got, I imagine that the round of 16 here the for Link to the Past randomizer was all meant to finish, before about 2 or 3 this afternoon, so that the round of 8 could begin this evening. So we'll probably be seeing some of that later on. Again, all of these matches have to be set up between the runners, though there may be officially scheduled times for the semifinals and finals later on. But yeah, I am looking forward to that in a rather large capacity myself.
Yeah, I gotta say my weekend's looking pretty booked. There are a lot of good matchups for a lot of different games, so might have to have one on every screen.
It actually looks like, according to our schedule right now, HayfieldBay has already scheduled his next match, specifically going to start at 4 p.m. Eastern, which, it's about 2:30. So here in about an hour and a half from when this is being run.
Oh boy, take a break. Try to forget everything about the last seed, so you don't get your wires crossed.
Oh yeah, that trying to run multiple seeds back to back is a good way to get yourself lost. Ask me how I know. All right. Just trying to confirm what's going on with the interviews before we say anything else. reaching out to the runners myself to see what happens.
Yeah, look at that. 124. Flashman indeed.
All right, so looks like we've been joined by Acktheboker. I'm going to see about getting one for Hayfield as well.
Yo, what's up, GG?
Hey, GG.
I didn't even need an interview invite. I guess I was still chilling in the server from last time I was here.
Fair enough. Yeah, hopefully we'll get HayfieldBay in here as well. I imagine you basically figured out what was going on here as far as the seed goes.
I was actually surprised at how quick he finished. But
oh yeah, it was pretty ridiculously fast on the seed. Apparently, tried to use the invite that I got to the server, and I can't get it to HayfieldBay.
he didn't join the last one I did, for what it's worth, but that could have been for other reasons. I don't want to speak for him.
Right.
Yeah, it seemed like this seed put a lot of the stuff, on the path you would normally take to clear out dungeons. Just a matter of finding out where that darn red cane was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mainly the main differences in time between you two. One is he decided to go to Hype Cave before going to Kakariko.
Mm-hmm.
Before going to Village of Outcasts, and that meant he had a sword for Skullwoods.
Skullwoods, yeah.
So he's able to finish that off while he was there. And then he decided to go to Swamp before going into Mire.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can you... was there any particular reason you decided to go for Mire there?
If the big key is late, then you're checking all those chests anyways.
Right.
And then if the big key is early and there's no cane in there, then it's like the worst case scenario. But I mean, the cane could have just been outright in there. That was my plan at the time. I don't know. I'm sure like everything inside me was screaming Swamp, but man, it just feels so rotten to do all of Swamp Palace for like literally nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then your opponent just finds it chilling in the overworld or something. It's a long dungeon.
And I definitely agree with the disdain for Swamp, let me tell you.
I mean, like, I wanted to do it, but I don't know. And then you have to make your choice on left side, this and that. It's, I feel like once you're in there, you're committed. And I felt like, at least if I committed to Mire, that only in certain circumstances would it be an actual, just absolute time loss. And other situations, like Kane is there, then it's really good. And then, like, worst case scenario, the big key's in the front, and your opponent already found the Cane of Samaria, and they just cruise.
Yep, and that basically was what happened here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely agree with the the logic there. It's very often you have to full clear Mire anyway, so it doesn't cause you that much problem. Yes, and HayfieldBay is now ready to join us. So hello, HayfieldBay, and congratulations on that blazing fast time.
Hey, GG. This was a quick seed.
Yes, it was.
So many good items early in the game.
Yeah, and that was probably one of the friendliest Ganon's Tower layouts I've seen too.
Yeah, I was wondering about the Ganon
as well.
Yeah.
Tempered sword.
Yeah,
That's always
tempered
been
sword in
my-
the right side chest, big key in the left side chest,
You
Yeah.
like in the hope room. Not even kidding.
like when you
Yeah.
finished GT, I was like, man, that must have been a blazing setup because like you got done right when I was climbing, and I was just like, I don't know. I mean, I know I didn't do this as optimally as I could have, but I didn't leave too much out there that was reasonable. So I was like, man, that must be a really good GT.
Yeah, for sure. It's always so good to get a tempered sword. If in my mind I was preparing for a master sword, it's okay, but it's a lot slower. So,
Yeah, and the Master Sword not coming until you'd finished, 6 of the 7 dungeons, which was pretty interesting there. So having to deal with, low offensive power for quite a while can be kind of a pain. I'll give you that.
so the only thing we were really looking for was the Sumaria.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I started in the Dark World with Hype Cave, which also were stacked. So that led me to Pod and Eastern, then to Skull Woods and Thieves Town. At that time, I think I only needed a Cane of Samaria for Go mode and a sword, of course. So I did want to follow the Crystal Dungeons before doing more overworld checks. So after finishing here on the mountain, I decided to do Smith Chain into Swamp. But I got a little bit distracted with a mushroom, delivered that one. Maybe I should check Sora before Swamp. But it worked out anyway.
And of course, you found the wrong cane first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I giggled at that one too.
It's like, you kidding me right now? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That was Hayfield, have you had a seed faster than this?
I think in my group stage I had a similar finish time like this. So it's about a tie from my personal best in open boots. Maybe I gotten something earlier, but I don't remember.
Yeah. With as much randomizer as people play, I don't expect everyone to keep track of all of their best times. That'd be a little much. But yeah, this was super, super fast. So I want to talk about some of the innovations that have kind of taken place as far as this open boots stuff goes, right? So, Acktheboker, your opening route is a work of genius. Not even gonna lie.
I mean, it fluctuates depending on the items I got. Like literally, I changed my whole entire route because I got a half magic or the full magic Contanter. Like that literally made me do everything that I did, and then the bombs too. So I started my Dark World access in Village of Outcast because I ended up doing Kakariko pretty much last out of the big checks. Which it seemed like that worked out. I thought it was going pretty good, but I think having the sword and all of that stuff, and then getting the flute, I think over in Pod, was a little bit
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I see that. Mostly, I was thinking about how when you put when you added the water walk to get to Ice Rod Cave there,
yeah.
and that pretty much makes it where you can somewhat easily route an Ice Rod Cave, and then when you're doing South Shore, you can also somewhat easily route in Nagina's Cave and not have to make that either or decision.
Yeah, the decision. Yeah, and like I had the bombs, and I felt comfortable getting over there. And then I think after Ice Rod Cave, I did escape because I had a weapon. I mean, you would probably do like mini Moldorm Cave and stuff like that as quick as you could if you actually had a way to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fire rod there was also screaming out there might be something in Dark Cross, which there was. Kind of important.
Yeah. And then I like doing escape early if I do have a weapon, just because I can death warp. No big deal. But I guess the mirror was early too, so.
Yep. Yeah, it is, in fact, possible to use the mirror to get out of there.
Yeah.
Speaking of mirrors, just the... So, Acktheboker, we could tell that you spend a lot of time doing the quick swap. just a lot of time doing the quick swap because you got all these things down that I've never even thought of.
It's
So,
really
like-
fun. It just keeps my mind active while I play, honestly. It keeps me less worried about Cane of Samaria and Swamp Palace, I guess.
Yeah. So, I always knew in my mind mirroring in Sanctuary is faster than walking out. But if if you have the boots, dashing out is faster. But if you have quick swap, it's now faster just to mirror because you could just hit L once.
Everybody does that now.
Well, everybody knows that except me because I'm dumb. So HayfieldBay, winner of this race, going to be moving on to the next round. It looks like you've already got your match scheduled for here in about an hour or so.
Yeah.
Good luck
Hey.
against Jim, man. He's tough.
Oh, no, I'm going to face Gem, who I have kept as a favorite to win this tournament. But in any case, I'm glad to have come as far as I have done now. So
I mean, you've been playing great, and like I said, that time is just incredible, I thought, for the race. I had just a couple of hiccups there. I mean, I did like Big Bomb and Catfish, and I elected to go check Meyer first, opposed to going into Swamp as well, just in case it was a late big key. I think those both hurt, but I mean, like outside of that, I was like, man, he must have been just flying because I didn't know how to keep up.
That Big Bomb did not agree with you today, did it?
Man, I don't want to talk about that. That was not my fault. The setup was fine. I think that was a very rare situation, and like I don't even do that anymore just because like some silly things can happen. But like that one pissed me off a little. He threw the bomb up at the exact perfect time, and there was like no way to get past him. And then as I dash into him, somehow like I still get hit by the whatever. That wasn't fair.
So yeah, Hayfield, you're like we said, you've got a match coming up in about an hour. How does that affect you trying to play multiple matches so close to each other? Does that mess with you at all?
I can't say it's beneficial, but hey, we have to race tonight. We have a schedule to follow, so I would prefer to play tomorrow, but we can't. But I will go for a walk now and try to chill and relax till my next race now.
A lot of ladder and stuff too, right? Like, I see you playing quite a bit. He's a professional, Dr. Bob. I'm sure of it. He'll be fine.
All right. Yeah. So if you need to get out and do that, please feel free to, and we'll wrap it up here. If there's anything else you two would like to say before we wrap it up, now would be the time.
Oh no, I just want to say GG's, man. Thank you for the restream commentary, dude. HayfieldBay, good luck for the rest of your tournament. Like, great races and everything so far, man. I wish you the best of luck. And just beat up on Jim, all right? He's not used to it, so give him a good old beating from Ack, all right?
Yeah, I will definitely try my best to do that.
Awesome, dude.
And thank you and GG, and it has been exciting to participate in SG Live.
All right. Yeah, I think Jim won the first of the SG Live tournaments and was second in last year's tournament. So it's going to be a pretty exciting match. So good luck in that one. And once again, thank you to both of our runners for putting on an excellent show. And we will see you all later. I want to thank, again, both of our runners, HayfieldBay and Acktheboker, for putting on an excellent show. And I want to thank our tracker, Rive, for taking care of the icons on your screen. And of course, I want to thank my co-commentator, Edgeworth, so much. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem. It was a lot of fun. Hope we get to do this again sometime.
All right. And with that, seems like a pretty good time to wrap it up. So thank you all for watching once again, and we will see you all at a later occasion. I have been Dr. Bobtastic. Bye, everybody.